Imagine a top British intelligence officer found dead, naked, lifeless, and zipped inside a locked red sports bag, in the bathtub of his London flat. It sounds like something straight out of a spy thriller, but in August 2010, that's exactly what happened. Gareth Williams, a brilliant mathematician and elite codebreaker for British intelligence, was discovered in his upscale Pimlico apartment under circumstances so bizarre that his death became one of the most confounding unsolved cases in modern British history. There were no signs of forced entry, no obvious injuries, no struggle. And the most unsettling detail of all, the red North Face bag he was found in was padlocked from the outside, with the key placed beneath his body inside the bag. It was a scene that no one could have imagined. So, who was Gareth Williams? Born in the quiet village of Valley on the Isle of Anglesey, Wales, Gareth was anything but ordinary. A mathematical prodigy, he was already enrolled in Bangor University at 13. By 17, he had completed his first degree, and by 21, he had earned a PhD in mathematics. He was a mind capable of cracking codes and solving problems that most people couldn't even begin to understand. In the months leading up to his death, Gareth was seconded to MI6, Britain's secret intelligence service. There, he worked on cyber defense, surveillance, and counterintelligence, work that may have made him a target for dangerous enemies. His assignment was due to end in just a few days. But before he could return to GCHQ, Gareth vanished, and his disappearance set in motion a chilling and unsolved mystery that still haunts investigators. On the afternoon of August 23, 2010, police officers arrived at Gareth's flat in Pimlico, just a short walk from MI6 headquarters. His colleagues were worried after he'd failed to show up for work or respond to messages for several days. When the authorities entered his flat, they found something they never could have expected. Inside the bathroom, in the center of the bathtub, was a large red North Face holdall, zipped completely shut and locked from the outside. And inside the bag, curled up in a fetal position, completely naked, was the body of Gareth Williams. The key to the padlock was found beneath him, inside the bag. There were no signs of forced entry into the flat. No signs of a struggle. No blood. Not even a single fingerprint anywhere in the bathroom, on the bag, or the padlock, not even Gareth's own. Immediately, the case made no sense. Could someone really lock themselves inside a bag, zip it shut, and secure it with a padlock from the outside, without leaving a single fingerprint? To answer that, forensic experts and escapologists were called in. Over 400 attempts were made to replicate the scenario. None succeeded. Those who tried often needed help escaping or couldn't even get the bag closed. It was concluded that it was virtually impossible for Gareth to have sealed himself inside the bag without help. As the investigation deepened, several theories emerged. One focused on his sensitive work with intelligence agencies. Could he have been killed by a foreign agent? Was he a whistleblower who uncovered something dangerous? Around this time, tensions between the UK and Russia were heating up. Some speculated that Gareth may have been targeted by foreign operatives, possibly linked to Russian assassination methods. Another theory suggested that Gareth's interest in escapology, the art of escaping from restraints and confined spaces, could have led to a tragic accident during a solo experiment. But that raised even more questions. Why were there no fingerprints? Why such a clean, precise scene? And why would a seasoned expert in logic and safety attempt such a high-risk experiment alone? The investigation only got murkier. Every new detail seemed to add more confusion than answers. And before long, whispers of espionage and cover-ups began to spread. Two years after Gareth's death, an official inquest was held to review the circumstances surrounding his death. The coroner's findings only deepened the mystery. Dr. Fiona Wilcox, who led the inquest, was clear in her conclusion: Gareth Williams had probably been killed unlawfully. This was a direct contradiction to the initial investigation, which had leaned toward an accidental death or a self-inflicted situation. The coroner pointed to several key pieces of evidence suggesting foul play. First, the lack of any fingerprints in the flat, particularly Gareth's own. Second, the bizarre scene of his body locked inside the bag, with no signs of a struggle. And third, the odd cleanliness of the flat, as though someone had gone to great lengths to scrub away any traces of evidence. Despite all this, the police investigation continued to suggest that Gareth's death was probably an accident. They suggested he might have accidentally locked himself inside the bag and suffocated while trying to escape, but they offered no explanation for how he could have done this without leaving any physical evidence. The conflicting reports from the coroner and police only made the case more confusing. Was it an accident, as the police claimed? Or was there something more sinister at play? From the moment Gareth's body was found, his family insisted that it wasn't an accident. They believed he had been murdered, and they were disturbed by how the investigation had been handled. To them, it seemed as though key evidence had been overlooked or even deliberately hidden. They were especially troubled by the absence of fingerprints, particularly Gareth's own. The family also questioned why MI6 had waited an entire week before reporting him missing. Had this delay allowed vital evidence to be lost or tampered with? As the case unfolded, dark theories began to emerge. Some believed that Gareth had uncovered a secret, something so sensitive that he had to be silenced. Was he killed because of what he knew? Could foreign intelligence agencies have been involved? The possibility that Russian spies were responsible gained traction, given the tense geopolitical situation between Russia and Western powers at the time. Others suggested that Gareth might have been looking into organized crime, perhaps connected to Russian mafia figures. These theories, though speculative, painted a chilling picture of the risks Gareth may have faced as he worked on high-stakes intelligence operations. Despite the dark theories, no solid evidence has ever been found to support any of them. But for Gareth's family, the truth remains elusive, and they continue to push for answers. In 2024, almost 14 years after Gareth's death, the Metropolitan Police conducted a fresh forensic review, hoping that new technology could finally shed light on the case. But the results were disappointing. Despite the promise of advanced techniques like genetic profiling and enhanced imaging, no new evidence was found. No DNA from a third party. No new fingerprints. the investigation hit another dead end. The case remains as puzzling as ever. Was Gareth's death an elaborate cover-up? A tragic accident? Or was it part of something far darker and more complex? The questions linger, and the answers seem as elusive as ever. Gareth Williams, a quiet genius with a brilliant future ahead of him, was found dead under circumstances that remain unexplained. To this day, no one has been charged, and the truth behind his death remains locked away, just like the key to the red bag he was found in.